This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, you didn't know I'm here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here. I'm the big time. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is the Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal review show right here on the Value of Wrestling. What can I say? This was an amazing documentary. If you haven't watched it yet, I would say go watch it. I will try not to really spoil anything, but I don't know if you can spoil a documentary when you're talking about somebody's life. We're going to get into some different aspects of this. We're going to talk about different things that go into this. And so I hope you will enjoy the discussion. If you haven't watched it, definitely make sure you have a box of tissues to watch this. If you're a Bray Wyatt fan, you're going to absolutely love this. If you're a fan of wrestling, you should love this. So, it is definitely a very, very well put together documentary. We opened with the history of Bray Wyatt, going back to when Blackjack Mulligan, to Mike Rotundo, to Barry Windham, and we get that history. Mike Rotundo, who was part of the U.S. Express, who's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame on Friday, along with Barry Windham. They were a legendary tag team. Barry Windham's sister, who married Mike Rotundo and is Bray Wyatt's mother. So we get that backstory. Taylor Rotunda, was a big part of this. He met in the studios in Pittsburgh, where Bray Wyatt would spend hours with his best friend, creating these costumes and masks for the Fiend and everything else that was Bray Wyatt. And you get a background, you get a look into that, and you get a look in a lot of the sketches and the pictures. And it's amazing. We talked about the beginning, about childhood, about who Wyndham Rotundo is, and what a story. We get the backlog. We get the history of him in school. We get to learn, how he excelled at sports. We get to meet their younger sister, Taylor, and Wyndham's younger sister, Micah. And she tells her story about having two brothers that protected her. Wyndham going into football, went to Sequoia Junior College here in California, then eventually going to Troy University in Alabama. I would constantly come back and forth to Brooksville and root on. And after seeing his brother Taylor got into the wrestling business in FCW before Wyndham did. And we got that history. And then going in and Wyndham basically saying, I'm not going back to school. I want to do this. And getting involved in the wrestling business. And them teaming up originally as Bo and Duke Rotundo in FCW, winning the tag team titles. And then eventually, Wyndham caught the eyes and got brought up to WWE. when he was in the NXT, when we were introduced to him for the first time as Husky Harris, and how that kind of didn't really go the way he ever wanted it. But we get the history there of being on NXT, being part of NXT, and working with Cody Rhodes initially, and getting onto that level. Then it kind of faded away, and then his big return when they let him start doing promos. That Triple H had fallen in love with him, let him bring him back to NXT to the Performance Center, and they found Bray Wyatt. And Triple H was a great asset. Paul Levesque was great. A lot of talking to him, sharing just the aspects of Bray Wyatt, who he was, and the creative genius he was, and that genius that would basically spill out. And I think a lot of people will have these, what you're talented in. And when you get into these moments of creating things or having ideas, that sometimes we can get really expansive on our ideas and what we want to do and how we want it to come together. And sometimes, it doesn't necessarily work out that way. And sorry, something caught my eye behind me. When things don't work out that way, or we got to be pulled back in because we may have many great ideas, but it's that one idea that we need to focus on and really build up and push forward. And this was Wyndham's way. This was Bray Wyatt's way. He was just incredibly genius, and we talked all the way up to him winning his world title as Bray Wyatt, and then losing it to Randy. His match with John Cena, his first match at Bray Wyatt with John Cena, not later on. And then, we really delve into the story of Bray Wyatt. A lot of people come out and talk about Bray Wyatt, how great he was, how loving he was, that he was really into the horror type of things. His mother read them Stephen King when they were young. These were the stories they were being told. So he definitely had a liking towards more of that style of things, and was definitely interested into it. Some people might call it morbid, some people might call it horror. There was a lot of things there, and this was just a beautiful, beautiful documentary. We run into the creation of the Fiend, and Bray Wyatt playing this monster, but just being a teddy bear, just being a light for many people, just being this warm heart for many. And we walked through the Fiend, we walked through the Firefly Funhouse, the creation of this, the startup of this, all the way through to the match with John Cena, to working with Randy, to the Burnt Fiend, to working in the crisp Burnt Fiend suit, and realizing that didn't work, and bringing back the Fiend, and then eventually, being released, that his brother Taylor had been released, and he gets released, and how things kind of spiraled out of control. The original Bray Wyatt character going back before the Fiend fell apart a lot because he had met a woman, he married her, had 2 daughters, and unfortunately, life, and stuff happens. They wound up getting divorced, and then eventually Bray Wyatt would find JoJo, which is pretty well known if you're a wrestling fan or part of the WWE. You've been watching WWE for some time. Eventually, they would get engaged, and they would have 2 kids. And it's beautiful to see that side of the story and getting JoJo involved. And then tragically, we get the story that I think we've all been waiting for, what the true story was. There was a lot of things that he had COVID, he had heart issues. We really never knew, but this documentary pretty much walked us through that process, that he was having heart issues. It talks about a pacemaker. They had given him a jacket that he was supposed to be wearing at certain times. I don't know all the details, and they didn't really get into details, but he was supposed to be wearing the suit after he came out of the hospital, which was supposed to shock him in case his heart did stop. And on the day of this, it seemed like, I guess, his sister was staying in their guest house, came in, found a rattlesnake in the garage. Everybody got over there. Lyndon was out there, Taylor was out there, and they were trying to catch this rattlesnake. And it was this day that he was supposed to go pick up his other kids. He had talked to, their mother, and he was going to go pick them up. So after chasing this rattlesnake, he kind of felt tired, and nobody really thought he was sick or in really dire need. And it wasn't a concern, but unfortunately, he went and laid down. And And his alarm went off. JoJo tried to go in there and wake him up, and things fell from there. And eventually found out that he was no longer with us. We had a beautiful moment in his recent return. He left, and then eventually realized he loved his passion and wanted to get back in, and he reached out, and they got him back, and we had the big return, and the whole world thought this was going to be amazing with this return. It just never got off its feet. Excuse me. Excuse me. It never got off his feet, and then we lost Bray way too soon. It's sad, and the storytelling in this is great. Mark Calaway, the Undertaker, is the narrator through the story, so it's amazing to hear him talking about it. We did get revealed a Fiend suit. The Fiend was going to come back in a different variation. They had built a whole Fiend outfit with the mask, a whole new design that was supposed to come to fruition at some point, but unfortunately, but they went ahead and still built the suit, pants, jackets. They put it all together for us to see. They unveiled it. After the show's over, the credits start running. The Undertaker kind of talks about being part of this show, and then afterwards, there's a great, what may be a Easter egg. I don't know what it means, but after it's all over, the credits are done. There's an Easter egg there, so go watch that. It's 2 hours, so give yourself a good 2 hours to sit. Get your snacks, get your drinks, get whatever it is. Make sure everybody else knows what you're doing, because it's going to be a 2-hour watch, and it's definitely going to be an emotional ride. So if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. If you have watched it, drop in the comments below what you think of it. What was some of your favorite moments there? What were some of the things that you learned about Bray Wyatt? What was one of your greatest memories of Bray Wyatt? Which character of Bray Wyatt did you like the best? Let's talk about that in this discussion. Bray Wyatt, Becoming Immortal, one of the best documentaries WWE has put out in a long time, and it's good. It's a really good one. But if you haven't watched it, just be prepared to really feel your emotions jerked on. Bray's in it. Luke Harper, Brody Lee, John Hubbard is in it. Braun Strowman talks in it. A lot of people talk in it. It's a good watch. So if you get a chance, sit down. You're going to have to give yourself 2 hours to really sit down and take this in and digest. If you don't really give yourself the full 2 hours, you don't sit and watch this. And you may not be able to watch this. Some people may not be able to sit and watch this in one spell, because it can seem, it's going to be emotional, and it's going to take you on a journey. So watch it, enjoy it, come back here, tell me what you thought about it. Anyways, on the big time, this is the Value of Wrestling. This has been the Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal review. I gave you a little bit of a taste. I'm not doing it justice. I know. I don't think I could if I wanted to. Go check it out. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about this. If you would hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We need all the subscribers. We're on a march to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications whenever new content comes out. Please give this video a like. Share it out with friends, family. Let's get it out there. Everybody knows who loves professional wrestling. That's the biggest way to support us. I thank you for being here. I'm going to get out of here until the next.